So, are you wondering if the Furrion FGH3Z series will fit in your 25FB Flying Cloud? I've got the answer. It will. And here's the end result. We're going to be using a 2016 Airstream Flying Cloud as our example, a 25FB to be specific. But first of all, we're going to show you something that the instructions for the Furrion don't show you. And that's how to take the Cooktop cartridge, which includes the grates, the glass, and the non-sealed surface, out of this main housing. In the instructions, they show the cooktop with the front panel work completely removed. When it's delivered, you'll notice some cardboard pieces that are between the cartridge and the cooktop chassis. This is where you need to insert a screwdriver and twist, and that will make the back of the cooktop baffle come up and unlock from the chassis. And then you can remove this in the exact opposite manner that they show you to install it back. So you'll pull the back end of this up, of the glass panel cartridge up from the chassis, right there in between, and you can see that there where that cardboard is inserted. That's the purpose of the cardboard, to show you where to pry. Okay, taking a look at the old Atwood cooktop, you can see that we've had to take the burners off in order to get to the mounting screws of the chassis. Okay, there's the chassis all disconnected and stuff. So what you do to get your old Atwood cooktop out is you counterclockwise turn your burners and about a 1/16 of a turn, not much at all, and then pull up on them and disconnect your igniter from there. Okay, once you get that off, you'll be able to access the 4 screws that hold the chassis into your cabinetry. Next, you'll want to take the microwave out. We have the combo oven, so it's just held in there by the 4 screws at each corner. Okay, now we've got the cabinetry exposed, okay? And now I need to take measurements to see if we need to cut open any dimensions. Okay, now that I look at it a little bit more, once the front end drops, we will not have to trim in here. We won't have to trim that. And I checked for the back alignment, and it's just perfect. So we won't have to cut anything on the back side there either. So the only thing that's looking like it needs to be modified, right, is the front. And I've already made some marks here about how much it needs to come down. So it needs to come down about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, in this next step, we've had to trim away a little bit of the trim work for the combo oven. So you can see here, if I zoom in a little bit, this is about, we're cutting about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of where the cooktop sits. So you want to make sure you do your measurements correct here. Notice I've put the blue tape on, and I used a thin metal blade. I didn't have exactly the stainless steel blade, but a thin metal blade would work for this application. Alright, so now we're going to trim the wood piece, and alright, you can see that we have completely removed that middle piece. Just tried it out after I cut it out to do the minimal thing, and then basically came to the conclusion that what's the use there, because you've got the metal piece attached all the way across. There we go. Check it out. We got it flush with our cabinet and all the way in just there for the front panel. Now I'm going to have to run some sort of 12-volt power supply to the back of this thing so you get the lights. So after the trimming was done, and you know, the hardest part was trimming that stainless steel beauty ring from the combo oven. You know, as you can see here, we've got, you know, we had to cut away parts of that, and on the left side we had to cut away all the way to the screw hole. Basically, important thing is to get this right. You know, to get this flush here with your counter or your cabinet front. One thing to mention is we did have to put in a power strip in the back because there's only one plug-in for the combo oven, and then we added a 12-volt power supply to power the lights. So when you go over here and push your lights, you know, there you go. They light up really nice and cool. Alright, now we're going to put the top on. Now the questions are, will it cook as good as the Atwood $49 cooktop? I don't know yet, but I will tell you it does look better. And the other benefit is that it completely opens up the rest of that countertop